Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or just welcome if you're new. My name is Eboni Harris. I'm a relationship therapist based in Houston, Texas. So this is the last of quite a few videos that I've made a few weeks ago when I was on my vlog. But this one is a continuation of my journey to a six-figure therapist. And this is just sharing some steps and tips and ways to become a six-figure therapist quicker than if you try to go about it yourself. So check out the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon. First thing I would say to be a and this is a six-figure therapist in private practice, all right? And I know some people don't want to do private practice, which is fine. I don't know why, but some people don't want to do private practice. But first thing is niche. Everybody says this, nobody wants to do it. I don't know why, nobody wants to niche. What are you interested in? What made you decide to become a therapist? And don't, pick what you want, pick what you love. But there are so many people that say, oh, I'm interested in sports and entertainment therapy. Are you? Or do you just feel like they're the ones that have the money that can pay you, right? Are you really interested, or do you want the fame of being a sports and entertainment therapist? Are you really interested in that? Let's be real. So I would say, be honest around what your interests are. If your interest is, and a lot of times people say our interests are related to what we've struggled with in the past. Mine wasn't. I haven't really had a lot of relationship struggles. But that's because I've always been interested in relationships. I've always wanted to know, why did she choose him? How did y'all think that made sense? Or why are you still with? I just always wanted to understand relationships. So it's always been an interest of mine. So niche down. You need to be very specific about who you want to work with. And I always tell people, even if you aren't sure, if you have 3 things you're interested in, that's perfectly fine. I'm interested in couples and relationships and sex. I'm interested in individual Black women who are high achievers, who are the ones that got out but still struggle in their relationships, or still struggle with maintaining boundaries and or moving into a new financial bracket. And I am interested in business and finance and growing, being an entrepreneur. So, but what did I do? I niched. I am a relationship therapist. If anybody asks you what I do, I'm a relationship therapist. Who do I attract? Couples, individuals struggling with relationships, and people struggling. If they've already seen me, then they may come work with me if they are struggling with financial stuff, or I have imposter syndrome, starting a business, things like that, because they know that those are interests that I have. That's who I work with. But because I niche down, I got a lot of clients. Because I niche down, that's why I'm the number 1 searched when you look up Black relationship therapists, right? Because I knew from jump what I wanted to do. Now, if you don't know, that is fine. Spend 6 months. I've been a therapist for a very long time. Spend 6 months really thinking about, where do I want to focus? Which one would I like to start with, right? And just focus on one. Advertise yourself as it, write blogs about it, go on podcasts talking about it, do videos about it. Focus on one area and just talk about it for 6 months and see what happens with your practice. If you don't like it, if you start to get those clients and you realize this isn't for me, change it. It's fine. You'll be fine. Switch to something else. 6 months. Or you can always brand yourself one way. This is who I work with. This is who I like. But I also see da-da-da-da. Now, this isn't fully true, but if you are going to be a private pay person, then you definitely need to niche. If you're going to take insurance or anything like that, then you can have a little bit more flexibility. But if you're a private pay, niche. It's the quickest way. It's just the reality. So that's the first one, is the niche. The second thing you need to do is you need to be everywhere. And again, this is an introvert talking. So this is why I did YouTube, because I could talk to my camera and I talk to people. I love podcasts, so I was okay with doing podcasts. I did articles where I was featured as an expert, and I had a website where I made sure I posted blogs and things like that. So if you're an introvert, do it the way. If you're not an introvert, go talk to people, go meet people, go start a networking group. This is, as an introvert, that's something I did. Start a group of people that you want to work with, right? If you're an extrovert, reach out to therapists in your area, just saying hey, I see you're doing dope things. I would love to get to know you, Don't come. I had 2 therapists reach out to me last year because I had my waiting list. I couldn't see new clients because I was so full. I met with both of them via Zoom, because it was, still COVID-ish. I met with both of them virtually, and one of them reached out to me and said, hey, I see you. I think you're dope. I just moved to Houston, and I just want to tell you, I was trying to SEO my website, and I saw that you were at the top of the list. And I was like, okay. And so I told her, hey, do you want to meet so we can know each other, since you're working with the same clientele I'm working with? Sure. We met. We are friends. We are cool now. And she is on my referral list. The other therapist reached out. Hi, I see you are, your wait list is closed. I'm trying to switch to couples. Can you add me to your referral list? I would love to meet with you. So, okay. So I met with her. She's telling me she's a generalist. She works with everybody, but she wants to switch with couples. She's not telling me any training that another person also had training in Gottman and family therapy and couples therapy. She was trained. The second person was not. The second person was a generalist who worked with everybody. She took insurance, but she didn't want to take insurance anymore, and she wanted to see couples, but she had no training in couples. And the conversation was her just telling me, well, yeah, I just figured since your wait list is, you could just send them to me. I don't know you, and I am, as much as I wish I could see more clients, I am so particular about who I send my clients to. I just am. And I know they're not my clients technically because I have a wait list, but I'm very particular about who I know that as Black people, the first contact that we have determines how we feel about mental health and therapy. And I have had some bad experience on the other side of it. So it's very important to me that I make sure I do a good handoff, and I'm sending you to somebody who's going to do a good job. So that's it. So niche down, put yourself out there, whatever that means. It can mean virtually, it can mean via blogs, it can mean podcasts, it can mean going out and meeting people. Put yourself out there. And the point of that story was the person who was just saying, hey, I see you, I like what you're doing, and who also had a niche in couples therapy, and who I clicked with because it didn't feel very much like, I just want you to do this for me, just add me to your list. She never even asked me to add her to my list. I just did it because I liked her, and she's somebody she knew what she was talking about, and we clicked, and so that was that. That's the person, not the person that was just like, hey, you are full, you should add me to your wait list. Why would I do that? I don't even know you. So yeah, network in a true way of like building relationships, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to supplement your income until you get to a certain point, right? And that's what I did. I supplemented my income because so many people get burnout early on, right? Or burn out or give up. That's what it really is, because it feels like this is taking too long, right? I was coaching a therapist probably, when did we start coaching? 2019, I think. And I couldn't make a promise that she would be full in 6 months, but I can make a promise that you're going to get clients. If you go through the steps that I'm telling you, you're going to get clients. And she did. And she ended up she was able to quit her job. No, sorry, she quit her job before, but she was able to supplement, like basically make the same pay she was making at her job. And she ended up getting another like little contract job just to kind of supplement it, but she was still having the time freedom, and she did fill up her schedule. So yeah, you want to, if you need to supplement your income, do some contract work, do good paying contract work though. Don't just do anything that comes to you. There are the $20 an hour contract work. You are a master's level clinician. Bump it up a little bit. So yeah, find good contracts, find good contract work. If I did contract work, I tried to not do contract work that was the same as my practice. So like I said, I would do crisis. I do work with like Lyra Health and Modern Health. If you don't know what that is, check it out. So that is, they give me clients. I don't have any, I only have one actually. I don't have any, all the rest of them are just probably my own clients now. But I think this was pre-pandemic. I was working with them, and yeah, so that was helpful too, because they pay very well. They don't pay exactly your rate, but they pay somewhere around it. So, which is not likely with a lot of, like, if you try to do insurance or EAP. So find contract positions that pay you well, because you still need to have time to build your business. If you decide what your rate is based on how much money you want to make, how much vacation you need, how much you got to pay in taxes, and how many clients you need to see a week, how many clients you want to see a week, not need to, want to. That's how you determine it. And there's a formula. I'll do another video, but basically you just divide the salary by the number of weeks you want to work. So if you want to work 48 weeks and you want to make $100,000, you divide the salary by that. You determine how many clients you want to take a week. So you divide that number that you got by the number of clients you want to see. And then that's your hourly rate, but then you add 20% to that rate, 20 to 30% to that rate to cover taxes. You're going to do insurance, and if you're going to have an office and things, or any type of business expenses. So I add like 30% to that, and then that'll be where you're at. I also would say you probably need to do some work around money yourself, because sometimes we have these arbitrary numbers like, I want to make 6 figures, I want to make $1,000, I mean $1 million, I want to make, and what you really need may not be all of that, right? So you may need to do some work around like, what does it take to maintain my life, especially if you want to move into private practice? How much do I need to maintain my life to feel comfortable? And so what does that mean as far as clients? You might want to start there before you get to the ultimate goal. It's up to you. But if you're transitioning from corporate America to, or agency work or whatever, to private practice, and you want to look at how much was I making here and how many clients did I need to supplement it? And it's typically not a lot. And you, a lot of times, don't even have to charge as much as you think you do, right? Sometimes we think, I'm gonna have to charge $200 an hour. You don't. A lot of people can get away with charging $100 to $120 an hour, and that is a very reasonable rate for a therapist. Depending on where you live, all those factors are important. So yeah, so that's how you determine how much your rate is, and then that's your rate. Done. Don't tell people, well, you can go between. I don't advertise that I do any type of scholarship or sliding scale. I have done it in the past. I've offered different types of scholarship opportunities for people to come to therapy. I only have a certain number on my list because I understand that I cannot do a full load of scholarship, because then I won't be able to pay for my lifestyle. You have to understand that while you may be a great therapist when you're broke, you're a much better therapist when you're not. As I said earlier, when we are worried about paying our bills, when we're worried about how we're going to eat, when we're worried about the stress of trying to take care of whoever, when we're worried about all of that, it does impact your ability to be a therapist. So it is extremely important that you really understand that you making more money is better for your clients. You making more money and not being stressed about money allows you to show up in a more genuine way. Because let me tell you an example, and again, not saying that anybody's doing anything unethical, and I don't think I've ever done anything unethical, but it is extremely difficult when let me give you 2 examples. When you have offered a sliding scale to a client or a scholarship to a client, right, so they can get a discounted rate, and then 3 weeks later they tell you they're going to Australia for 2 months, and you've given this sliding scale because you want the client, because you need clients, or because you're scared that nobody will pay your rate, or they can't afford it, or because whatever reason you've given this discount. And when you find that out, it is very hard to come back from that. It messes with you mentally, right? To be like, I am struggling, right? I am struggling, and I am trying to get more clients, but I'm also trying to like help people because I'm concerned everybody else is struggling. And that's just not the case. And so you have to set your price. You have to leave it there. You can have a certain amount of hours that you dedicate to any type of cause, right? There's for the military, they have a given hour where you can do an hour free. You can decide you're going to have 4 clients that you give a 50% discount to. Whatever you want to do, have a limited number. So that's number one, is that it is very difficult when you have given someone a discount and then they go on a trip, or they come with an expensive bag, or whatever you want to call it. It eats at you a little bit, right? The other part of that is, if you are not making good money and you have a client that says, I'm not sure if I think I might be done with therapy, or I feel like everything's good, so I think I'm done. And you start calculating like, oh my God, if she stops coming, then I'm going to be at this number. That should not be anywhere in a therapy session, right? And we all want to believe that we're these superhuman therapists that I would never think that way. Okay, I have. I'm not saying I held a client. I let them go. I understood that that's what it was. And I agreed that they were ready to go. And I let them know, okay, well, this is going to be the wrap-up session. Let's go ahead and go through some stuff. Here's some referrals. Here's if you need to come back, let me know. I did what I was supposed to do. But I cannot lie and say I did not have the thought of, damn it, if they stop seeing me, I only got, is that enough? I don't, and so you don't want to ever be in that position. So because of that, you have to take the financial part, extremely important, if for no other reason, so that you can become a better therapist. So, okay, that went way longer. Let me do my lipstick real quick, and then I'm going to wrap this video up. This is going to be a separate video. This was supposed to be a part of a vlog, but this is clearly going to be a separate video. Hope that was helpful. I know this isn't like a normal video. That's why I wanted it to be a part of the vlog, but clearly I went on a rant and it's way too long for that. So, If you are a new therapist, if you're interested in becoming a therapist, I hope this helps you as far as knowing what that looks like, or how you can make 6 figures. I could have went way more in detail, but just time-wise, it just doesn't make any sense. But make sure that you like and subscribe, share with anyone that will find this helpful, and I appreciate you for watching. I'll see you next week. That's all. Bye.